right, now it is time to bring in Mike Cozzi and time to check sports at 6:38. Good morning there, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Can't complain. Surviving. Well, what we talked about last week continues on, and you're absolutely right. The Major League Baseball players reaffirmed their pay stance. There is no deal with any of the teams in sight.
Good. Stay home.
Yeah.
Don't get paid.
Yeah, it's just that's the way it's going to be.
I mean, the owners came back with what I thought was a good deal. They were going to be prorated for the amount of games they played. Can't ask for more than that. And the players turned that down. So now you stay home and you get nothing.
Yeah.
How's that work for you?
Yeah, that and how about the NBA? They've approved a 22-team format to restart the season.
This is like fantasy land for the NBA. First of all,
Yeah,
I really don't care if they ever play again, but they have a proposition where they're going to play some kind of tournament in Orlando, which will end in October.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but doesn't the NBA season start in October?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah,
pull the plug. It's over. And you come back and play in the fall.
That's exactly right. It's there comes a time where you've got to say, all right, enough is enough. This is what we're going to do. There's no more season. Sorry, there's no champion this year. That's the way it is.
Yeah, and hockey's doing the same thing. It's June 5th.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, these seasons should be wrapping up.
I'm telling you right now.
What are you going to do?
Baseball only has a couple of weeks to decide, really.
I was talking to friends of mine last night in a pizza shop, and some of them are under the impression baseball will be back. I said, you got 2 weeks. You got until probably June 15th, which is less than 2 weeks now, to have something signed. Because then you need 2 weeks to get at least 2 weeks to get yourselves in the playing condition, and then to start a season around the 4th of July to play your half a season. If you don't come back by June 15th, it's not July 1st you're going to sign a deal and you're going to start playing in 2 days. That's not going to happen. You need at least 2 weeks to get yourselves in. At least 2 weeks to get yourselves in a condition, because with all these rules and regulations, you can't even play catch. So I don't know what they're going to do about it. But I say that Major League Baseball's got about 10 days to get something done, or else that season's over. Unless they want to decide to play until Christmas, I don't know. Maybe they'll play to New Year's. You have a World Series game on New Year's Eve. Who knows?
Or maybe you'll have the final of the World Series on the same day, a day before you have the Super Bowl.
Possible.
Hey, have listen to this. Have an unbelievable sports weekend. Have the NBA finals on the Thursday night, the NHL finals on a Friday. Have the baseball seventh game on a Saturday, and the Super Bowl on a Sunday. Back to back to back to back to back.
Unbelievable. I don't know. Nothing makes any sense.
No. You got any sports to talk about?
Yeah, I got something cool to talk about.
All right.
I know the person that works with you believes in signs and symbols and stuff, and so do I, kind of. Yeah. Well, there was a horse race in Belmont on, what's today, Friday? Wednesday. Opening day at Belmont, okay? And they were publicizing this horse, talking about the horse because of his name. It's a cruel name for a horse. The name of the horse is Fauci, named after the doctor, okay?
All right.
And this was a 2-year-old baby race. Yeah. Well, they were telling all the reasons why Fauci this, Fauci that. Okay. Fauci got beat by a horse. The name of the horse was Prisoner. And the horse that ran behind Fauci's name was Indoctrinate. Now, you can't make this stuff up. And if you don't believe me, you can go look at the results for Belmont on Wednesday, and you could see Fauci got beat by a horse named Prisoner and was in front of a horse named Indoctrinate. Just saying. How funny is that?
That's unbelievable. That's my favorite race call is that guy that does the one about the where it's dubbed over and he's talking about the divorces and marriages. I don't know if you ever seen that.
I remember that one. Guess what? His name's Larry Colmus. He used to be the announcer at Monmouth, and then he became the NYRA announcer. Well, he priced himself right out of the game. He has no job.
That was a great video. That was a great video.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so do you have any racing coming up to talk
Yeah,
about?
we could. And last week we did real good. We did 2 races last week. We did the Winning Colors, which was a stake, and I said there was a big favorite in there, and take the shot with the 4. Bell's the one. Well, Bell was the one at 13-1, and then one of the couple horses that we said you had to play in the grass stake, which was a real deep race. One of them was the 7, Secret Message. That horse won at 25-1. So we had a pretty good weekend last weekend. This weekend, well, Churchill doesn't have the stakes it had last weekend, so we're going to Belmont, where it's been feast or famine. It's been favorites or horses that you scratch your head and say, I have no idea how that horse won. So they have a couple of stakes races tomorrow. The 6th race is the Fort Marcy. It's a Grade 2 on the turf. It's on the inner turf, and inner turf means speed. So I'm going right to the 3 horse. Some Like It Hot Brown is the name of the horse. This horse is the speed of the race. He's 15-1 morning line. He only raced over Belmont once and ran a second. But speed kills, and this horse has the speed. I think this horse has every right to take down the Chad Brown Army. 9 horses in the race. Chad Brown has 4 of them, and then they say how good he is. Well, when you have half the field, you got a 50% chance of winning is what I see. But we're going to try to beat him tomorrow with Some Like It Hot Brown in the 6th race. The 7th is the Grade 3 Westchester. This is the prep for the Met Mile. There's a lot of horses in this race that don't belong in the race. In my opinion, Code of Honor lays over this field. This horse is a Grade 1 winner. Even though this is shortening up to a mile and a 16th, I think Code of Honor doesn't even have to be 100% to win this race. He's my top pick in this race, and the only horse I think has a shot to beat him might be the 1 horse endorsed, trained by Billy Mott. This horse is in pretty decent shape, has the rail, might work out a trip by Rosario if Code of Honor falters, but Code of Honor looks tough in this race, so we're going to go with a 6-1 Exacta in the 7th at Belmont. The 8th at Belmont is the Grade 3 Intercontinental, 7 furlongs on the turf. We're going to go towards the outside. The 7 horse, Regal Glory, trained by Chad Brown. It pains me to pick a Chad Brown horse, but this horse is bred top and bottom. Hasn't been out since October, as has been the story for a lot of horses. But this horse has been working well at Palm Meadows and brought that back up to Belmont. 5-1 is a nice price on this horse if you can get it. And the other horse looking at here is the 9 Rose Flower, trained by Christopher Clement. This horse dances all the dances, has run well sprinting at Aqueduct and Belmont. Again, comes in off the layoff, but was working pretty decently down in Florida. So we're going to go with a 7-9-9-7 Exacta in this race at Belmont. And then the last race at Belmont, another stake, is the Grade 1 Carter, going 7 furlongs on the dirt. 2 horses I'm looking here way on the outside. Vekoma, trained by George Weaver, comes into this race nice with a bunch of works. However, Javier Castellano's been riding this horse, and the only thing worse than the weather has been Javier Castellano's rides. I call him the cancer man. That's how bad he's been riding. He's won 1 race at Churchill, Moose Tack to Belmont. Maybe the change of scenery will help him, so we'll use Vekoma in the Exacta. But another horse I'm going to use on top with a little bit of speed is the 7, American Anthem. If this horse doesn't get pushed early, this horse can get real comfortable and put in a real nice run. Has a little bit of a class, not an edge, but not as good as some of these horses in the races it's been running. But this horse does fight every time, and at 15-1 with Caramouche, I'm going to definitely use this horse on top. So in the card, I'll look for an upset with American Anthem, and we're going to use the 11 Vekoma, the old 7-11 in the 9th race at Belmont Park tomorrow. So racing's back in New York, albeit with no people, and baseball continues to stick their head in a hole in the ground.
It's going to be interesting to watch a race at that big racetrack with that whole cavernous thing empty. That's amazing.
Well, it's just like watching a regular day at Belmont on a Wednesday. There's nobody there. I mean, Belmont's the perfect place where you can let people in for social distancing, and you really don't even have to put any restraints on it because not a heck of a lot of people show up there except for Belmont Day.
All right, I'll check with you next week, Mike.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Take care. Mike Cozzi with a check on sports this morning here on the Breakfast Club on Robin Hood Radio.